So welcome to Contemplative Conversations hosted by the Contemplative Studies Centre here at the University of Melbourne. Thank you all for joining us for this conversation about how the mind works and how this knowledge can promote well-being and mental health. Welcome. My name is Dr. Hannah Gould and I'm a postdoctoral research fellow here at the University of Melbourne, researching areas of Buddhism, death and dying and material culture. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge that we meet here today on the lands of the Wurundjeri Wurrung and Burrung peoples. I would like to pay my respects to elders past and present and future, and to extend that respect to any Indigenous Australians who are present, and acknowledge that we meet on unceded lands that continue to be occupied to this day. So I'm very pleased today to be joined by the Venerable Dr. Mahinda Thero, a former research scientist and higher ordained Buddhist monk who left behind this world, our world, of materialism and worldly comforts like heating in this very cold Melbourne morning to follow our teachings of Buddha and find spiritual enlightenment through selfless service to the community. So welcome, Mahinda.
Welcome.
So I think for some perhaps the most interesting and exciting question in that bio was your decision after completing a PhD to leave a life in research as a biochemist and become an ordained Buddhist monk. Can you tell us a little bit about what motivated that?
Yeah. So what happened to me, I always wanted to become a scientist. So when I did my first degree in molecular biology and biotechnology honours, and then I applied for PhD position at ANU with my then wife. She also did a PhD in analytical chemistry. So while I was doing my PhD, I was always thinking about the life, why we are spending this life as a human being. There's something different between humans and animals. So what is that different? What is that difference? So I was always thinking about that. And then I complete my PhD in 2019. And then my supervisor back then, he's Geoffrey Dotting in ANU. He offered me postdoctoral fellowship as well. So while I was doing postdoctoral fellowship, I was actually involved in biochemistry research. I was actually working with COVID-19, protease, enema. Those who are familiar with that, you know. So one day, 2018, I stumbled across a talk on YouTube which completely changed my life. Ladies and gentlemen, that talk, it was in our language, in our home language, it is Sinhalese. And then, I remember that day, 2018, May 17th. I was listening to that talk, it was 3.5 hours, YouTube talk. And me and myself and back then wife, we both listening throughout the night. And then in the morning, we've decided, okay, there's something that we have to look into our life differently. And then after that, we thought, okay, we should listen to this speaker. And then after listening, after following him, and that he became my teacher for my life, who showed me who am I. And then in 2021 April, so 2021 August, one day, we both get together and decide, okay, let's quit this life and let's go to this monastery and practice this, because this whole world is awaiting for us, because we have done all these science experiments and everything. Because that's what I felt is, if I practice this, I would be able to help many people. Because we found that there's something wrong within our mind that we never think that is there within our mind. It's like crazy man cannot come to self-realize that he is crazy, right? you need to have a teacher. You need to have a guidance to show you that there's something in this world that you perceive. Not the world, your perception.
I think many of us had COVID-19 YouTube realizations, but perhaps none so impactful as that one.
Yeah.
So what was it then you talked about seeing the mind from a science perspective or as a scientist, a research scientist, and then seeing it from the perspective of a ordained Buddhist monk? How do those two people, those two versions of yourself, how do they see the mind?
Scientists use mind to perceive what is actually happening in the outside. Not only scientists, all the people, all the living beings in this world is using our mind to perceive what is actually happening in the outside. But do you know, there's a secret plug-in in this mind that mind can think, mind can understand, mind can reflect about mind itself. We haven't been using this plug-in since we were born. You need to have a teacher, a guidance to show this plug-in, that it is there with you. You know, that is the difference between animal and a human. Animal can't think about their own mind. But we have this ability. But with the proper guidance, then you can switch on this plug-in. It's like Google plug-in, right?
It's a very computer science term for the...
Yeah, so that's what happened to me. That's why I started to think, oh, no. We always point our finger towards the outside. That man, because of that man, I'm getting angry. Because of the mortgage, I'm stressed. All you have this problem, right? Because of the interest rate, I have this problem.
Yes.
I have this stress. Of course, right? Then I started to realize, no. Stress is happening. Anger, grief, lust, fear is happening within our mental world. It is not in the outside. Then you have to find solution within the mental world, not in the outside. But we have been pointing our fingers towards the outside. Because of that, what we have been doing is we are trying to make the world according to the way we want. We never question, we never think about what's actually happening here. So that is the two perspectives. That is the different ways that what scientists look into the world and what monastic or the people who practice this, the science of the mind, right? Who think about this. This is like, ladies and gentlemen, you have to think about yourself, not about me, right? So today, during this talk, I invite you to think about you, what we are going to do. We are going to do some experiments. I'm going to use some chemistry experiments as well. And you have to think about from your side, because we are going to contemplate, reflect about your mind. About your mind, right? Not about Hannah's mind or my mind. So this is the difference.
Wonderful. So do you want to help me then explain this kind of teaching on perception or teaching on mind that making this shift to ordination helped you come in to see?
Yeah. So you mean the teaching of perception? What is the teaching of perception that? Yes. So ladies and gentlemen, this is what you have to understand. This world is driven by cause and effect nature. Right? Let me explain that cause and effect nature, because scientists also see cause and effect nature of the world, but as a monastic, who practice this concept in the mind, how mind works, also see a different way of cause and effect. Right? Okay, I'm going to show you some experiments.
We have prop work.
Guess what is inside? Anyone?
What did someone say? Marbles.
Marbles?
Close.
Okay.
Oh, we've gone old school. It's Scrabble.
It's Scrabbles. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what do you have here? O, right? That's O, letter O, right? What do you have here?
You.
You or O and U?
I can't pronounce that.
One
Owl.
letter O and then U. Ow.
Oh.
Is there ow here or is ow is your perception? Just asking. Now you have to think about yourself. Now think about what is happening within you, not here. What do you have here? Letter O and letter U. Inside your mind, you are perceiving what? O. What do you have now? A. Where's A? According to the way you look into the world, now tell me, where's A? Where's the our word? Here, right? Ladies and gentlemen, here I'm presenting, these are the causes that gives an effect in your mind. What is the effect? A. There's no A here. These are three letters, O, U, R. In order to have A in your mind, there should be light in this room, and your eyes should be working as well. Your brain should be working as well. How about your heart? How about the earth? Earth should rotate around itself, right? How about the sun? Yeah. Every causes has to come align. Stars have to align. In order to manifest, this word, what is the word?
Ow.
Where is it? Is it in here or is it in your mind? Think. Now you have to look into yourself. See, I'm saying that's why I'm saying this is an experiment we are doing. I'm going to show you what you have been doing, right? R is not there. It's O-U-R. These are the three letters that contribute each other, that contribute to generate that effect in your mind. What do you have here? A flower bouquet? All agree? Okay. Yeah, there are 5 flowers in this bouquet. Right? Okay. Now 1 flower is in my hand. And where's the bouquet? Now 4 flowers in the bouquet. Okay? Agree? Okay. Now I took 1 flower out from the bouquet. And what do you have here? 3 flowers in the bouquet. 1 flower on my hand. Okay. 2 flowers in the bouquet, 1 flower in the hand. Agree? Okay. Now 1 flower in the bouquet and 1 flower on my hand. This 1 flower is a bouquet. Then where did the bouquet go? Where's the bouquet now? Ladies and gentlemen, here I am presenting the perception. Bouquet is your perception. Bouquet is not here. These are causes that give rise to an effect of bouquet. Not only this, let's think about colors. I hope I have a little bit of time.
Of course.
Yes. Think about colors you see. I'm a chemist, right? I did biochemistry. We have to think about 2 things. Yeah. Object and the image. What are the components in the objects? Atoms. Do you agree all? Atoms, carbon, hydrogen.
Yes.
Carbon. Come on, you have learned general science. Atoms, you know that. Electrons, protons, neutrons are there, right? Okay. Electrons, protons, neutrons. And are they sitting like neutral, they are not doing anything. Or there are vibrations. Agree? Okay. Vibrations are there. What is the image? What are the components in the image? Think now. Image consists with colors. Agree? Red, green, blue, whatever, colors. And then sound. And
sensations.
Sensation. Taste. And touch, or whatever sensation. Okay. Now tell me. Do you see blue color here? Where's the blue color? Now you have to think, right? This is not something, ladies and gentlemen, mind lab is with you. You don't have to go to lab to do research in the mind because mind is with you. Then you have to do research within yourself right now. Let's do this, right? Can you see blue color here? 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 Huh? Some people say no. Now think about, where's the blue color? Here? It's blue color here, right? Be honest with me, right? You feel blue color is here, right? Okay. Now, let's do an experiment. Close your one eye and shake the eyeball like this by looking at this pen. Do you see your world is shaking? Do you see pen color is shaking? Blue color is shaking? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't shake this pen. What did you see then? Did you see this object? Or did you see what you see? Here I'm presenting your perception. Ladies and gentlemen, this perception, in the perception, you have these colors. Colors are not here. In order to have this color within your mind, you need to have this object, whatever the materials. These are energy aggregates. You know, atom is an aggregation of an energy. These are energy aggregates, and light energy should be there, and your eye should be working, and your brain, and your heart. Everything comes together to generate colors. Is it in your brain? No. Brain, when you open your brain, do you see colors or electric signals? What do you have inside the brain? Neurons, neurotransmitters, electrons, protons, neutrons. So that is object. Ladies and gentlemen, in the mind, it is generating this color. What you have seen so far since you were born is the image. Image is generating within your mind each and every moment. You see blue color now? Is it here or is it in your mind now, actually? Think about that experiment. You shake this eyeball, right? It's not what you see here. Blue color is not here, right? Okay, tell me, isn't this is science? This is mind science, mental science, science of perception. That's our title, yes. Right? Blue color is not here. Blue color is what generates in the mind. What happened to that blue color now? That means if one cause is missing, what happened to that effect?
Disappears.
It disappears. Means it is not going somewhere. Did it go somewhere through this doors? No. This is generating each and every moment. Each and every moment, each and every light beam, whatever the light ray, is contributing to generate this effect in your mind. When I remove this, then what happens? One cause is missing. Now there's no blue color. Now you see red color. Actually, you didn't see me. You see what you see. That's why dog thinks what he perceives is existing outside. you think what you perceive is existing in the outside, but we never saw what exists in the outside.
So I really like this teaching that it is we assume that what we are perceiving is reality, it exists there.
Exists there. Because you project image on top of the object.
So sometimes it's pens and words and flowers and bouquets, but I think many of us maybe walk around with other big things we perceive that we assume to be true.
Yeah. You know, one more thing. You need, when you perceive pen, before you perceive pen, first you perceive color. Then you perceive the demarcation, the corners. And then you generate, inside your mind, you collect all the data. Mind is super fast. This is super crazy fast. And it combines all the data and generate pen here or within your mind. How do you know this is pen or not? You have been told someone, that's why.
So we've been told these things and maybe we get into habits of seeing things a certain way.
Exactly.
And maybe these habits are sometimes fun and happy and good for us.
Yeah.
And maybe sometimes not so much.
Yeah.
So how does our perception then impact or affect our emotions, and particularly?
Nice. I love this conversation. You know what happened? Let's say you have a crazy switch. Craziness, huh? Earlier you thought pen is here, right? Before you listen to this talk, you have been thinking what you are seeing is in the outside. Agree? Right? Still, you get this idea. Don't worry. This cannot be done overnight. This cannot be changed overnight, because since you were born, you've been using this concept, proving to yourself. Where's the pen now? Here. Where is you? There. Right? Now you are attaching to this pen. Now there's ground to attach to this pen, because why? Pen is where? It's an outside object. You can see what is existing in the outside. Agree? Agree. Now there's ground to attach. Right? Now think about what is actually happening. Now switch off the craziness. I switch off, huh? Now switch off the craziness. Is it the object in here? Object is here, but what you see is in your mind, isn't it? It's a perception. Perception is not what is here. This is also contributing to generate that blue color. Light is also contributing to generate that blue color. Your eyes are also contributing to generate that blue color. Then you should thank the light and your eyes as well. But what you are saying is you are only pointing here. Because of this, you see blue color pen. No. That's wrong. In order to have that perception, you need to have light, you need to have eyes, you need to have brain as well. So all together then contribute this effect. Agree? Yeah. Now you see you see blue color pen. Is it in here? It's a perception. It is the perception. It is arising each and every moment. Then what happens now? There's no pen. Actually, penning. Penning is ceased. Penning inside your perception, that is penning. Each and every moment you perceive pen. Right? Now you don't feel that. That means now perception is ceased. Right? Then there's no ground to attach, ladies and gentlemen, because it's only a perception.
But we do like to attach.
That is the thing, right? When you have ground to attach, then that attachment causes suffering. You know, in Sanskrit sloka, Deyato Vishayan Punsa, Sangastesu Pajayate, Sangas Sanjayate, Kama Krodo Vijayate. This is not in Buddhism, this is in Sanskrit sloka. That when you sense objects in the outside, that leads to attachment. That leads to suffering. That leads to lust and fear, anger. Attachment happens within your mind, not in the outside. Mind thinks what mind feels is existing in the outside. And because of that, mind attached to objects, but you haven't seen the object, ladies and gentlemen. You only saw what you saw in your perception. That is only a mere perception that happens each and every moment. When you understand this truth, then you are eradicating completely the ground to attach. That is how you can eliminate attaching. This is not a cure, this is a prevention technique. When you feel suffer, you can't apply this. Right? When you understand this, when you contemplate this, when you reflect on this, that understanding will guide you to liberate yourself from suffering. This is a permanent solution I'm presenting.
It's a pretty hard ask in many ways.
Exactly.
Because, I walk around believing the pen exists, believing that my partner and my dog and my job and everything else exists. And to a certain degree, you feel like you kind of have to just assume that they're going to exist. But as we know, all things change, all things disappear, the pen goes away eventually. So what can we do to help ourselves practice or be primed to give away that attachment?
Yes. This mind is crazy. The perception occurs according to the view you have. Perspectives, beliefs, ideas that you bear is the guidance of the perception. When you believe, when you have an idea that you see what you see in the outside, what has in the outside, what is there in the outside, right? You smell what is there in the outside. You taste what is there in the outside. Ladies and gentlemen, that idea is there with you since you were born. This is very crazy idea, but nobody knows it, but everybody has it. It's wrong, right? In order to flip this idea, change this idea, you need to practice this in the presence of noble friends. That's why we do meditation retreats, these talks, and give this association to each and every people, the people who are interested, who can understand this truth. You know that in our monastery, there are a lot of people practicing this, and there are nearly 750 people get together and practice this, residing inside the monastery. Because what we are doing is we are talking this again and again and again. We are proving to you, when I'm proving to you, that means I'm proving to myself as well. Who is listening first what I'm telling? Who's listening first what I'm telling? Me.
You are, yeah.
Right? Then what I'm doing is I'm proving to myself as well this concept. Each and every moment when I prove it to yourself as well and myself as well, that gives the association of noble friends. That's why Buddha said, noble friends association is the key to find this truth. And Jesus said, that truth will set you free.
I love this idea of noble friends. Such a beautiful idea.
Thank you. It's not me, it's Buddha said.
Well, thank you for transmitting it to us. I wanted to ask, as we kind of wind down and get towards some questions, about how we balance attending to ourselves and working on our mind, on attachment and suffering, and responding to big suffering we see in the world around us, whether that be poverty or war or illness. They may be illusions, but they're big illusions that are hurting people, right? And we can work on ourselves, but how do we also balance that with helping others?
Exactly. What I'm doing now. What am I doing now? I'm telling this to you. Ladies and gentlemen, what we have to do is to get rid of suffering. We need to educate people as much as possible this root cause of suffering. We need to show them that root cause is lying within them. Everybody is looking at the outside and they think, if we change the outside, then if you change the way you want, if you change the world according to the way you want, I am okay, I am happy, then someone will be, right? But if we can get rid of the way you want, then you can accept any way. If you have my way, then highway becomes my way, right? There's highway. In order to go in highway, highway is not my way, right? So that means if you can educate people, if you can spread this message that this science, what you perceive, is actually not within, the problem is within yourself. If you change this idea of that what you're observing is not the object, actually the image that has been creating within my mind, within your mind. Not only the image, ladies and gentlemen, but also sound. See, how do you know that? Where does the sound come from? From here, right? Scientists know that there's no sound here. These are vibrations. Your eardrum is not sensing sound, ladies and gentlemen. Your eardrum is sensing vibrations. And their cochlea is actually, their water is floating. There's no sound there. Your neurons, there's no sound there. Where is the sound? Sound is generating within your mind. Do you hear what I am saying, or do you hear what you hear? That is generating based on this. I'm not doing anything. This is one fact, one cause. In order to generate that sound, millions of causes are contributing. You don't have any option. You just have to listen now, because you came here, you now sit here, now you have to listen what I'm saying, isn't it? Can you stop listening to what I'm saying? Huh? Can you? Come on, no, right?
In 2 minutes. I'm going to, in a moment, ask everyone to maybe think of some questions, and I'll have someone take a microphone out, and if people would like to ask, we have about 5-10 minutes for questions. But I wondered, before we get there, is there something that you'd like to share with people as something they can do practically, a take-home message as a next step on this?
Ladies and gentlemen, what you give is what you get. If you give this, if you get this, then you have to give this. What I'm doing is that when you give this, who's getting the most benefit? Me, not you. Ladies and gentlemen, in this world, people are there busy with accumulating things to themselves. Agree? I can remember those days when I first came to Australia in 2015, right? I had only 30 kilograms of luggage, right? And after 3 months, we moved our house to another place. You know what? We have to take 2 cars. So what we have been doing so far through that 3 months? Accumulating. You are taking things towards you. Because you see, what you observe, the colors, image is where? Here. So you need to take them towards you. See, attachment arises when you sense objects with the image. When you project that image, this is there. Then attachment is there. When you attach, you can't tolerate now. When you crave for pizza, okay, for example, when you crave for pizza, right? You are eating pizza, right? Pizza, come on, ladies and gentlemen, pizza is going to your tummy, not to your mind. Agree? Pizza is not going to your mind. Pizza is going to your tummy. These are atoms. These are vibrations. They are going to your tummy. So what is happening in the mind? Mind thinks that mind eats a pizza. No. It's a perception. Ladies and gentlemen, when you understand this, when you contemplate this, every day, when you have the noble association, you are able to do that. If you don't have the association, you can't, because there should be someone to trigger you. Hey, do you see the color? No, actually color is not there, right? This is what I'm seeing. Okay, See, you need to have this association. You need to have these triggers coming from the outside. Then you can practice this. So my take-home message is, if you want to practice this, you have to give this. When you give the happiness, actually, this is the happiness that everyone is looking for. Because this happiness comes within. When you realize who you are, when you realize what's actually happening within you, when you realize this perception is how this perception is happening, then you won't tumble in all these confusions that you are entangled in. Ladies and gentlemen, like in Matrix, you are born to a prison, right? Prison to your mind. You cannot smell, taste, touch, or think. I'm the Morpheus. You are the Neo. There are 2 pills now on my hand. You can take the red pill. If you come along, then you can enjoy this. Or if you take the blue pill, you can enjoy in the wonderland that you are in. But the thing is, at the end of your life, you can become a scholar. You can become someone who studied all the things in the world. But at the end of the day, if you are suffering, what's the point of this education? Think. I'm not saying education is not good. I'm asking you to think. At the end of the day, you're not taking a tuppence worth of thing out of this life. When you go away, you go empty-handed. When you come, you came empty-handed. You go empty-handed, right? I did a PhD, right? How about the PhD? I have to keep it here and go away. It's like you're going into the Kmart, you're buying stuff everywhere, and when you come out, security guard, he's taking everything to him. No, you can't take it out. Go away. This life is something like that. Agree or not? Because what you have been doing is collecting objects that they didn't have this image. Colors are not there in the outside. Thank you.
That was a wonderful ending. I didn't think we'd get to pizza, the Matrix, and Kmart. But that's what you get from someone who is both a PhD scientist and a Buddhist monastic. So thank you very much for your talk. We have a few moments here for questions.
So in our monastery, we have around 120 young children, aged from 7 to 18. In between them, we have a separate school there. We are teaching all this science and general science and all the Cambridge or local syllabuses there. At the same time, they are residing with us. They are learning this concept as well. So this is what we are doing is, we are actually giving them this association to free themselves from the suffering. Not free themselves what they are doing, because we are doing everything. See what I'm doing now? Talking. At the moment I'm talking, while I'm talking, I'm contemplating as well. Right? So those children actually, you know what? Since we were born, we have been practicing this concept again and again and again and again and again. Wrong concept, practicing again and again becomes now what? It becomes you now. Right? It's really hard to get rid of that. Right? It takes some time to you to practice it. But for children, they are learning, they are in the learning curve. Right? It's very easy to convey this message to them and prove them to you. It's like some people see rabbit on the moon, right? Rabbit on the moon. But if you start to think that, yeah, of course there's a rabbit in there, right? If you start to think in that way, then you cannot think other way around. What? There's no rabbit. There's what? Craters, isn't it? So what you have to do is keep educating them. No, son, there's no rabbit there. What is there? It's craters. Ladies and gentlemen, have you seen the mirage? Can you see water there? Can you see water in the mirage? Yes. You see water there, but is there water there? But still you see water, right? You can see water, but you know what is there. You can see a pen. You know pen is not there. Something like that. This understanding, Karen, what it takes you to do is, you can enjoy your life. You can, so I'm doing everything, right? I'm writing, I'm doing editing, I'm video editing, everything I'm doing. But while I'm doing, I'm contemplating what is happening here. That is the concept that liberates yourself from suffering on that moment. What I'm talking about is Nibbana. This is the concept that Buddha has conveyed to the society. Nibbana is something you can experience, not in next life, but in this moment. So you're asking that if you're understanding this, now you get the question, what I'm doing here right now? Right? Ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to stop what you're doing. Each and every individual is helping each other. You didn't see in that way. You see, you are doing for yourself. No. By organizing this, what Anna and Kathleen and all these young the gentlemen have done, they have helped people. All the research that you're doing, you're helping others. Right? Do your duty. Understand yourself. Two different things. Understand the perception and do your duty. While you're doing the duty, if you understand what's actually happening, anxiety won't arise. You know, the problem here is when doctors say, oh, you have anxiety, you know what happened? When you think that you have anxiety, that leads to anxiety. You know, that leads to panic attack. I've seen a lot of people and they, I have anxiety because of that, I feel panic, I'm getting panic attack. You know, that fear leads them to anxiety. Don't you think so? The problem here is, you didn't have anxiety with you, ladies and gentlemen. Anxiety is something manifest each and every moment when the causes are there. If someone passes, you won't cry 4 days or 7 days continuously, right? When you remember that memories, then you start crying, isn't it? So that means that suffering is not there with you forever. Suffering is something manifesting each and every moment. When you understand the suffering, when you understand the anxiety, that understanding will liberate yourself from suffering. At the beginning I said, there's a crazy man cannot come to self-realize that he is crazy, isn't it? But far away, long time ago, in a far away land from Australia, one guy came to self-realize that he is crazy. Who is that? Buddha. When he came to realize that he is crazy, that craziness gone. That means realization brings you happiness. Right? Realization, the perception brings you happiness. So what you have to do is, you have to do the job. What you have been, don't stop doing anything. Say, I'm doing as well. What I'm doing is now, this is highway. This is like M1, M2. This is the gravel road. Right? Your journey is very slow. My journey is, I'm going 120 per kilometer per hour. You're coming 40 kilometer per hour. I'm inviting, let's start this journey to understand yourself. Practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. Rome isn't built within one day, isn't it? Right? What you're saying is, you have a small axe or something. Now, you cannot cut big trees. Practice cutting small, plants. While you're practicing, you're getting used to use it. The piece of equipment that I handed over to you, the red tablet. Right? When you understand this slowly, then you can apply to big things as well. Right? This is what you have to do. Start practicing. Like you can practice with the flowers. It doesn't matter. Haven't you seen that beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder? Like, have you come across this idiom? The idiom? Yeah. Beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Is beauty in here? If this is beauty, then everyone should feel the beauty. Some people love this. Some people, hey, I don't like roses. How come, if the same beauty exists in here, then some people love, some people hate? If beauty is existing here, no. This is what you have to understand. When you are listening again and again, this kind of talk, this kind of understanding, the Noble Association, as I've explained, you slowly tend to apply to small things in your life. That understanding will guide you to apply to big things like your daughter. Don't worry too much about big things. Let's apply to small things. That's the way to start. How did you learn science? Did you learn the quantum physics at the first go, or you study sodium? Sodium has how many electrons? Okay, carbon has 6 electrons, 6 protons, 6 neutrons. Okay, carbon. Hydrogen has 1 electron. You see, you started with like very few, like small things. You can do like that. What I did is, from 2018, I started with small things. It took 5 years, me, actually 6 years now, to come to here. Right? What I'm saying is, come along this journey. You will experience the degree of happiness, unconditional happiness that I'm experiencing. Don't you think I'm stressed now? No. I'm thinking about you. You don't feel the ocean of love and compassion I have towards you. Because I know the root cause of suffering. We know, we cracked the code. It's not we cracked the code. Buddha cracked the code. Thanks to the teachers that I met, they gave me this baton. I want to transfer that baton to you as well.
Well, thank you, Bhante, for that wonderful, encouraging end to our conversation today. And thank you, everyone, for joining us for Contemplation Conversations here at the Contemplative Study Centre. Thank you so much for your time and your generosity. We very much look forward to joining us again for conversations in the future. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.